What is up? What is up, people? Yeah, it's a vertical stream. I know. I know what you're thinking. I love vertical streams. I love them. Look, I've got to get ready. I got to snooze. I got to sleep for the swap tomorrow. So I can't be sleeping all. I can't be streaming all night, bro. I can't be streaming all night. But I can stream for a second. Say hello. It's been a minute since we did a vertical stream anyway, you know? So maybe I can go around, show some of the stuff I've been working on. Or maybe I don't. Maybe I don't. Maybe I just sit here. I don't know. We'll see how long it takes for people to realize I'm streaming. But yeah, right now we're on a 5 gallon. The shrimp are out and about. This is one of the 5 gallons I've been working on. I've been working on a decent bit, you know, trying to get it. This is one that's classically been pretty. What's up, Mick? How's it going? So one of the 5 gallons has classically been pretty fuzzy, pretty foggy. We've been clearing it up, but I also have just kind of spruced things up in general. Got shrimp in here, and then I put frying here on occasion. There's one more panda core I need to catch us. Caught some fish I was kind of quote unquote quarantined here. That's a little Daniel Kayeth at fry. Yo, Mick, I'm gonna walk away from the phone. You tell me if you can still hear me, okay? Do I sound like I'm getting further away? 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 Okay, if I don't, then I'm on my headphone mic. I can walk around. Mick said I was just checking your channel to see if you're live. Yeah, I wasn't gonna go live, honestly. To Platypus and Auntie K were harassing me in the Discord. You hear me okay? Okay, then. Ooh, you'll like this, Mick. Look at this guy. This guy is so funny. You know the species, of course. Mick, you know all the species. Come on. Someone was saying this is like the Muppet fish because of how they move around. Watch this. Let me see if he does it again. You can see the crater in the sand that it created. I can't really tell what the hell this thing really wants to eat. I mean, I could Google a bit more. I mean, I have, but I just forgotten. But like, I just want to see if you guys know what species this is before I say the name. What's up, Cheryl? How is it going? How is it going? We're in the vertical stream, but that means you're in for me walking around, seeing what we've been gotten done in the room recently. I've been working hard in here, trying to clean things up. Of course, I'm looking at one tank that like is all algae, but algae's been working out pretty well for me. What's up, uh, Dignal Lopez? Let's get vertical. How's it going to Platypus? Yeah, this is Parotocinclus corensis, and compared to the other Parotocinclus and like the Nipitoma, the Robocops, like I say each one of these fish all seem massively different in what they want to eat. This guy, I don't really know what necessarily wants to eat. All of them, I kind of assume a certain amount of, was it the Offwinch or whatever. Katie Hammond said my crayfish died. Oh, I'm very sorry to hear that. I'm very sorry to hear that. Now I want to go check on my crayfish. Okay. Mick just said hello to someone, and then they said I love you. Wow, that's crazy. Mick, you growing people fast. Anyways, the thing about these. Okay, so we got the over here. We got the Galaxy Autos, right? The Hurl die. That's a Parotocinclus, right? So here's the thing. Right now they're eating some imported food, believe it or not. This is green cuisine, I believe it's called. Or is it Bug Buffet? I can't remember. This is the Australian food. Jody sent me this a bit ago, keeping fish simple. And these guys, I've been trying to figure out what the hell they want to eat. I mean, I've read about what they want to eat, but you know what I mean? It's different things. So Right now, they like whatever's in this green cuisine for sure. I've tested many different foods, and some things I read said that they might prefer a meatier diet, right? So I tried some white worms. It takes them a little bit, but turns out, yes, okay, they do like white worms. So I crushed some snails. They really seemed excited about the crushed snails. So yeah, the Horaldi, they seem a bit more open into the things that they might eat. They'll go on some wafers. They like this green cuisine. I was kind of worried that they're a little too skinny, but I also don't know how thick they should be. Now, this guy is clearly much bigger and thicker than some of these other ones. So I don't know if there's, age difference, dimorphism difference going on there. A couple fish said, "What kind of hours is this? This is real flip of hours, baby." You know what I'm saying? But I'm sorry to say, I do feel like some of the Paradicinklus, the Heraldi, seem clearly wider than the others. But yeah, they like this green cuisine, the Australian food. Shout out keeping fish simple. They seem to like that. The RoboCops kind of seemed like they were a little interested in it. I've still been paying Bacter AE in here mostly for the RoboCops. The Heraldii, it seems like, yeah, they'll eat these wafer type things. They'll eat white worms. They like crushed snails, which is great for me because I've been enjoying killing snails more and more every single day. So basically, varied diet, varied diet, but the fact that they'll eat some meatier stuff does make it easy for me. Mixodaceae, I would say they're omnivores, both veggie and worms and brine shrimp. Yeah, so those seem easier. The RoboCops, it's harder to find a food that they're gonna want to like attack, really. And even when there is a food, they seem to like eat around where the food is more than anything. Um, so I do think maybe they're going to be more strictly. I want to say biofilm. I think things like the aquatic isopods, honestly, like I'm not necessarily the RoboCops, but the Heroldi, I think really small invertebrates would probably be great um, for them. But the RoboCops seem to be eating quite a bit of the Bacter AE and stuff that we're tossing in here. But really clean this up. A couple of fish will be proud of me. I sloped this tank today, so I think I'm gonna put a crypt. I think I got some wood dentai from a that's getting too big for isopod tank that I'm gonna put over there to cover the sponge maybe. But I'm conflicted. I'm conflicted on if I leave this part lower and then plant like do the thing where you plant like a leafy what is it? Do they do like the val or maybe the needle leaf or just something bushier on the top left? Let that be taller than the bottom right ground. But I do really like this whole section here. I've sloped it, and I even like how the cocoa core mixed in is looking. So I think the two crypts I have, I'll just go there and I'll cover that, and then Rapashi paste food. Yeah, I'm too lazy for that. I'm too lazy for that. We're gonna have to make these other things work. Um, yeah, I don't know what these guys want to eat necessarily. I really don't. It seems like they're almost like a sand filter thing. Now again, I've like looked up what they want to eat. So when I say I don't know, it's not like I literally am like gonna starve this fish. Well, but look, none of the other ones do anything remotely like this. So they kind of like scrape through the sand. Like it doesn't look like the sand's. I can't tell if the sand's going through their gills or they're just kicking it up behind them. It kind of looks more like they're kicking up behind them, but clearly they enjoy digging through the sand. They make pits all over in the sand. None of the other ottos or even the plecos don't really do this to this degree. Like if you look at the sand, you see the pitting, and that's why people call them the Muppet fish because this just looks ridiculous. But really, is the cutest thing, and as they've gotten bigger, they do kind of have a yellowish greenish tinge to them. I do think it is Paradicinklus, which is like that small green auto type thing. Is that a Paradicinklus? I forget, but I don't know. Maybe I can line breed these in 50 years and make a green one, since that's probably how long it's going to take for them to get that fucking fish over here. A couple fish said, I think instead of Blackwater tank, I might do a UG carpet in the UNSQ. UG. I know what UG is. I just can't remember how to say it. Should I do a carpet in this tank? You think, or should I leave it open and just have my grassy hill here? I could just so I have a lot of Rickia and Saswassertang mixed up there. So if I put in the left corner something leafier, it could be like a tree almost. Rapashi Morningwood, really, Mick? Really, Mick? Out of all the Rapashi, the Morningwood is what you toss my way. Now I see why people saying they love you in the chat. It's just crazy, man. It's crazy. It's not like 5 a.m. where you're at. Calm down, man. The newts are still doing good. There's still a better rubra. I gotta get out of here. I cleaned up this tank quite a bit too. I also sloped it a bit more. I'm not sloping this one because I mean, look at it. Okay, but I sloped this a little bit. You know, every little bit helps. Uh, I'm kind of like paranoid. I need to do more reading on the newts' diet. It's not necessarily I'm paranoid about that they're not getting the right nutrition. I don't want to overfeed them. Some of them are starting to look a little bit stocky. You know what I mean? Now that guy, I think that's one of the males. The guy said the females have more like hips, and I kind of know what he's talking about sometimes, but they've actually been doing really well. I actually just got distracted watching them. I've seen no evidence that they've been able to catch any shrimp still to this point. As you can see, the shrimp continue to persist. This is supposed to be my cold sherry red tank. I was hoping to get like another red tank started and work on the quality of these. But I'm seeing there's some clear shrimp in here that I didn't want to be in here. So it almost would be nice if these guys would eat the clear shrimp, but they can't even get the red shrimp. So I don't think they're going to get the clear shrimp. I'm having a bunch out of nowhere. In the Discord, John said he was asking if anyone else had blue green algae in the area because he just suddenly had a bunch pop up. And yeah, maybe they did do something with the tap water because I've been having blue green algae pop up in tanks. I've never had any issues with it before. So that's kind of strange. I've just been, removing it some and trying to make sure the flow is appropriate. This is one tank I spent a lot of time on recently. I know it doesn't look like much, but well, actually, you know what? I think it looks nice, but it looked a lot worse. And I spent a lot of time ripping plants out. You can almost see the shape form. I want to get rid of all the valve. I think the valve is kind of messing up my flow. And then I'll kind of refine these two patches of whatever that plant is, this hygrophila, and then I'll kind of go from there, improving this as far as escape goes. Get some sloping. Oh, Digno Lopez says they love Mick. There we go. I added all the baby barbs, which are now, I guess, more juvenile size to this tank, and it really improved the behavior of the barbs. They're out and about quite a bit more. But it's kind of funny. They still kind of group by. Wait, Bomba's here. Wait, I don't have chat set to all messages. Let me see. Did Bomba actually come in here? Or are you just mistaking? Oh, I see what you're saying. Anyways, yeah, it's kind of weird. All the small guys, they kind of like they hang out with the group but in their own section, and then you got the adults out here just doing their thing. But regardless, they seem much happier. So I've been pretty satisfied with that result. So continuing to work on that. This tank has been solid green for months. We finally are able to see um, inside of this tank. So I've been working on this a bit. I'm trying to get, the Rotala red patch growing here. I just need to work on organizing it, and then I'll have my Myro patches here, and then I'm probably just gonna let it carpet. The valve just keeps carpeting for every single tank. The valve just keeps carpeting, or sublot, or whatever the hell it is. Um, took me forever to get as much utricularia out of here as I've had. I can't decide if I want to keep the sword plant in here, because here's the thing: in this tank, there's a sword plant in this back corner, and this is a 28 low boy, so obviously kind of short for a sword. But when I was messing with it, I just noticed so many fry in the leaves, and just the effect of the leaves going through the surface and just being so dense. I think it's a nice hiding spot. So I'm kind of considering letting this do the same thing, where the leaves go all the way through the top, and then it's just like this maze of leaves at the top that small fish can kind of go in and out of. I did pull some swords that were in some smaller tanks out though, because I've been kind of like growing swords in small tanks for some reason. Um, the Kinky, I keep saying they're Dahane, but I think they're Kinky. The Kinky crib pair still getting along really well. The female's so small still. I don't know if this is just a smaller species. I forget. The male's starting to look really pretty. Actually, it might be one of the cribs where the male is competitive with the female. I don't know where he is right now, but they're just super confident, really cute. Cribs are the wave, man. I mean, just the way they move around and interact with the environment, they're adorable. I do think they're like the cats of the cichlid world. I think cribs are basically cats. Um, but if she stays like around this size, like that's a pretty nice dwarf cichlid size, man. But I don't know where her man's at. Oh wait, what the hell is he doing? Now the other nice thing about cichlids is they really are detritivores. So this tank was already pretty momey when they got in here, but like they do kind of help sift through things. But yeah, this guy, he's starting to look pretty good. Starting to get that kind of cheetah yellow black spot pattern in the caudal, and then the purple's coming out. So keep an eye on them, because this is one that I want to do well with. But this pair has been, look at them. Look at these two lovebirds. See? Saying, what's up, bro? What are you doing? What are you doing? Nick, you also try. Oh yeah, the haircut versus some catfish went mushy soft food and got the. Yeah, that's true. Uh, I do. I think the thing I feed the most vegetable wise is broccoli. I don't know if I tried to feed these guys that. I did move the Higer tank. So now it's oriented that way, and I'm working on working a cube filter in the corner somewhere where it doesn't mess up the scape. Because I was tired of not getting a frontal view of this tank. I really like this tank a lot. I did add some like wood pieces in the corners, kind of the start of an idea. But I do think this wood, kind of like fallen wood thing in the front, in a prominent position. I think the word I'm looking for is a scale effect. I think is really nice. So that's been giving me ideas for when I actually try and make a tank look nice again. Because when it's like just up front, it makes it look so much bigger, and then when the shrimp are on it and the isopods are on it, like it's really nice. So, and this carpet has been doing all right. That's like Swassertang and some algae. Let's see. You want to see something cool? Maybe only Mick will appreciate this. We'll see. We're either going to see something cool in a second, or we're going to see something very sad. Hold up. So in this cave is what is it? Peas Sumatrans, licorice gourami. So licorice gourami are cave spawners. I got these at the Clash. A bunch of them did not make it. They were dying in the bag. Mick, my fish are eating. Mick, my fish are eating. Don't worry. They're not gonna die. They're not gonna die. Okay, so I found eggs. My first licorice gourami eggs that I found, at least, especially from this species in here. So I'm gonna shine the light and see if we see. When I checked earlier, the eggs, like some of them had fallen from the cave. But when I talked to someone that breeds them, yeah, the RoboCops, they're eating, Mick. Don't worry, they're eating. All right, let's see. I don't see him in. I don't see him. Okay, well he's gone. Earlier this morning, he was in there with the eggs. I don't know what happened, but that's the first time I've seen them, so I wouldn't be surprised if it didn't work out. I'm checking. Okay, I see. I see a male in there. Okay, I'm gonna leave him alone. But basically, long story short, I've got some. I have Linky, but these are Sumatrans, I think is what they are. P Sumatrans. The Linky are the ones over here, actually. Um, what's up, Steve? My Apocymi and Hera have been doing. I need to move. They're basically spawning size now. Um, Wigglers on the floor, possibly, possibly. I'm really nervous about shining the light in there. But I got a good group of the Hera in here, kind of growing out. Oh man, I just totally, I'm like totally zoned out. You get Galaris Fry yet? Not yet. At least not that I haven't seen them yet. I'm just now getting around the time period where I'd expect to start seeing them. So the fry that I have been seeing is my orange laser cories. Laid a bunch of eggs. I posted that in one of the discords, and it looks like most of the eggs hatched. You can see one fry there, and I did an experiment. I took, well, this confirms a lot of my stir-by eggs. They've just been bad, by the way. But I took most of the eggs, put them in here next to the airstone, and I took the other eggs and put them in just like a still tray of water in the Hydra tank. I'm gonna move this moss and see if, yeah. So look at that. I got a good bunch of these orange laser cories under here. Yep. So there was like 100 eggs. Who knows how many fry will actually end up making it? But you can see there's a good amount. And I've been running this tray for a bit. So I've got isopods in there, of course. I got some other eggs I'm hatching there. But what's really nice is I've got a lot of detritus worms and things like that. Nick said, did you have pond snails in the licorice tank? I do not trust them eating eggs. In general, I don't trust the snails eating eggs too. There were some pond snails in there. It is the desnailification of everything is something I'm working on, but to be honest, the first spawn of that fish that I've seen, I'm not even ready necessarily to take care of them. So I'm not going to stress about it right now. So I'll keep working on slowly getting rid of the snails, but if it's not meant to be right now, then it's not meant to be. But anyways, lots of orange laser Cory fry. Hopefully those survive. That'd be a nice one to have a good amount of. This should make you happy. This is the tray I'm hatching catapus eggs in. And let's see if you can see the Procatopus. Yep. Well, I do have both of those things, so I think we're good on the waterfront. So here we have all the Procatopus that I've been too lazy to move to a bigger tank yet, although this is why I like these so much for hatching eggs, because, bro, you get a perfect, oh yes, low iron view from the side, and you get a nice view from the top, and it's really easy to catch things out of here because it's shallow. You can see them pretty easily. There's a stir-by. There's a stir-by baby right there that I need to get out of there. He's getting kind of huge. Oh, you said well done? Well, Mick. Wait, Mick, don't say well done yet. Did you not see the group in here? Come on. You think that's it? Look at all that. Come on, man. I got like 30 in there. I got this group I'm raising up for a friend, so I've set those aside. I got 11 in there. And I've started my third fry tank for Procatopus in here. So I'm probably going to be up to 4. So you can see I got them in here. So I got this 10-gallon I'm starting to put them in. I'm probably going to start putting them in here once I get that half beak that I've been growing out of there. And then I got, yeah. So the road to 100 per catapus is turning out to be shorter than I expected. As far as, getting 100 per catapus. Now, the road to 100 adult per catapus, we're probably like 20 billion years away from that. But, Mick, you did tell me that I need to focus. I need to breed a bunch of the Procatopus, so I'm doing what you said. I'm listening. Now, I have messed up. There are a few fish that I don't know what the fuck they are. So, like, that killifish down there, don't know what that is. There's a few options. That's one of the reasons when Steve said, "Do you have any Galaris fry yet?" I'm like, well, in the one tray that I know it would be Galaris, not yet. Some of these other trays were maybe I forgot I put Galaris eggs in there. It's kind of possible. I don't know. There were some Australibris, I think, apprentice fry in here, but I had a decent amount of belly sliders. I'm not seeing any of them obviously right now, but I wouldn't necessarily expect to. Bunch of Procatopus. Okay, the Danios have been doing well. Um, this is from that basically one day of collecting eggs. This is the Daniel Kayafit. What is it? The orange fin Daniel or something? Common name. Fix my light. I know the Killy Fry they'll predate early on. Survival of the fittest, Mick. Come on. What's up, JP? How's it going? How is it going? So yeah, I got a decent amount of them here. Now the problem is that I haven't really set it up to where I could collect. Like again, this was pretty much from like 1 or 2 day of just collecting eggs. And again, here's another mystery killifish. No idea what that is. So I didn't mess up. I do still have more though of the Daniel fry. So this tank's got all Daniel fry in here. So I'll have the road to 100 Daniels is also much closer. And then in here, got some Daniels. So the Daniels I kind of went crazy on, but okay, Nick's not going to be happy unless I stop talking about all the killifish that I mixed up. So look, I know what all these are. These are all riverless Purge, however you say it. I need to start collecting eggs from these again. This was I used this mop. I've got the foam from Swiss Tropicals, the coarse foam I've been using, and the rivulets really like laying eggs in it, and they got big ass eggs, so it's easy to see. And I just took them off and put it in here. I'm gonna start trying to do that more. Now that I have more foam, it's easier. So like this is a Procatopus mop that I did that for. So I'm gonna start doing that for the Procatopus more, so I'm not picking eggs as much. But it doesn't work as well if I don't have them with isopods, I feel like. But I got a decent amount of these rivulets in here, as you might be able to tell. Then we got the Epistogramma Banshee Inca 50. They've laid eggs and it's not worked out a billion times. I've got them in here. It's them. There's a couple Cories in here and some neon tetras, some green neon tetras. And we got some babies moving around. So progress has been made. Everything seems to be going all right as far as this is concerned. Mom seems to be attentive. So I'm not necessarily ready to have a billion of these guys either, but they seem to be happy in this tank for now. So we'll see if she successfully raises up these fry. It's almost like hard to see them because they're so small, but you can see a couple right there. She hasn't been particularly aggressive with the male or anything else as long as they stay out their way. I'm working on growing the plants out though. I'm going to probably put like a big rock here and I'm floating these 2 branches because I do want more hardscape separation because this is there's not that much line of sight break here. But I will say, I've talked so much about the algae and how noticing how a lot of the dwarf cichlids will literally make caves out of algae. Now, if you don't want to use algae, seems like moss could be pretty important too for that. So this moss here, she kind of fashioned it and using it in a similar way to the cribs, where they kind of will move the moss and make a shaded area underneath so the fry can be underneath and then they're safe from fish from above, right? So she's a little bit out in the open now since it's been a few days, but the first few days she was just under here and she moved the moss. So I really think, and down here is a pretty plentiful mulm and algae tank. But here, the cichlids in here have done a similar thing. They're kind of harder to see from this. We'll call this a biotope. That's what's going on there. But the cribs, on a bigger scale, they do the same thing. So this is moss and algae, and they've totally created a cave system back there. Like it wasn't like this, you know? And it goes all the way back through here, and they've hollowed out so like there's basically a roof. So yeah, I would say now looking forward, I would include with your pairs of cichlids and stuff a bunch of moss. You know, if you don't want the algae, like Steve said, because they'll literally make little safe havens, so the fry are safe from above, but they still can travel like to the edge. So there's some of the crib fry right there. So this is the Pelvicochromis drachenfels. This is my original wild caught pair, which have me and Steve talked about how some of their kids kind of like sometimes the cribs just kind of fade. Um, the parents have outlived some of their kids. I haven't quite. I think it's going to end up being a dietary thing. Me and Aaron have been talking about how feeding. I think Aaron says taking the cribs out of tanks where he's feeding worms regularly really cut back on his crib issues. I mean, from what I've read, they really can't process protein very well. So if you feed them too much protein, it can start rotting in their gut. And yeah, the head bump thing, that's exactly the kind of stuff that we deal with too, Steve. So it's definitely something with cribs, and I don't know what it is. But like when I first was talking to Aaron about it, she was like, "Oh yeah, that happens to my cribs," but he wasn't necessarily concerned about it because it just seems like okay, some of them are just like weaker than others, but apparently feeding less worms really improve things for them. No, I'm not. I'm not trying to be LRB tanks. I have plenty of tanks without algae right now. I've been working on it. I found one of my stir today dead in this tank. I don't really know what's up with that. This is a tank that I kind of take care of pretty well. I mean, I'd like to think I take care of all my tanks pretty well, but like I'm feeding them live foods all the time. These are like my live food priority list. I'm changing the water very regularly on this tank. So I don't really know. I just found one of my stir today. I have a group of 6 just dead in here. And I haven't noticed anything wrong with my, they all seem kind of fine to me. No one's been acting funny in here. So I don't know if it's like just an occurrence and you know what I mean? I kind of took some time to like look at them closer, but I personally have not been able to see anything that I identify as a problem. So I don't really know what to make of that. But I will say these stir have been laying a lot of infertile eggs. Now I think when Chad was here, he thought I had maybe a female heavy group, and possibly that was part of the problem because I know some quarries you want more males, but I don't know. Michael said hi. Too many fish. You got too many. What's too many fish? You don't like a lot of fish, Michael? Come on. I moved my 173Bs to a tank where I could see them easily, and most of them seem to be doing well. Hilariously, they seem to enjoy being underneath my little egg trap here. But one guy actually is using the cave, and then I got my fancy cores here that I need more of because I think I might have a pretty one-sided ratio. But I did lose one of my plecos when I was moving them, which was sad because I've had this group of 8 for a while. It was a little bit small. I've had them for like a year and a half, and that one never really grew too much. So I think that maybe it was just a little bit weaker. It's a platypus. What's up with thank you for the 5, my friend. Very generous of you. Are you catching anything to take out tomorrow? That's a good question. So the thing is, well, I could. I mean, I will. I don't know. Sometimes, like, even just disturbed by dying, it just makes me feel deflated, and I don't want to catch anything. But, I don't want to compete with people tomorrow, so let me think. If I was taking some, I'm trying to see if I can find the Panduro babies, but they always hide them from me. So I got a big problem. How big do they get a foot long? No, those plecos stay pretty small, I think. So here is part of my problem. So this is Beta rubra, and I believe this is the male, which is unusually pale, right? But clearly, you look at the mouth, it's got some goddamn eggs. So it's a problem because we go up here, and here's some bigger of the riverless Persian. But I got a lot of fucking. Ooh, you're starting to get some shine on him. But I got a lot of Beta rubra. Okay, that's basically what I came up here to say. Now I only see one right now, but I got a lot of Beta rubra. Need glass cleaner. Listen, bro. This is just this is raw. This is a reality, okay? The glass be dirty sometimes. What was I saying? Oh, I keep finding Beta rubra all over the place. So look, that's a Beta rubra right here. This is like my hospice tank. Okay? If a fish looks like it's not gonna make it, I throw it in here. Now, I think it's PERGAY is what the referee list is. I said it earlier. I showed you all the fry of them. Mick, you're not even paying attention. Yeah, the male Beta rubra was up here. I found him in the hospice tank one day. So I took him out and put him in here, which is where he released all the fry, and it took me forever to catch him out. But in like the whatever amount of time he was in here, he released fry. Then the tank he jumped out of, which was here, he released fry in there. He released fry in here, and now he's about to release fry in here. Now it gets even worse because I had moved the fry to this tank, which used to be next to this tank, and there's Beta in there too, because I guess at some point they jump. So basically, these Beta are all over the damn place, whether I want them to be or not. Okay, and that's another reason why some fish, like some killifish, you don't want to keep next to each other if they can frost. I've improved my lid situation immensely. I'm gonna work on finishing installing some rails, but I did make some cuts here because the glass lids are nice, but not so nice when they open this way. And so I got some lids cut out here nicely. So that was a lot of work. Fixing up this is a lot of work. This tank I would make actually look nice. Like I'm working on making this 20 long look nice, and this one's kind of bare because I got the Bonita Chromis in there, and it's gonna dig up everything. But I mean, like the goal is to make, on average, all of my takes look nicer, and I think we're making progress on that goal. Like a lot of the tanks are looking pretty decent right now. At least compared to before. Yes, I do have a newt. These are the Japan blue tail firebilly newts. Can't remember the Latin name right now, but I just recently had it in my head. Um, okay. Oh yeah, I forgot I got Procatopus up there too. Yeah, this tank got this is a whole nother. We're not gonna talk about that. I think I'm gonna get rid of my Gardener IP82s, but I think I'm gonna keep the gold Gardener. I just like them, and I think I like my gold Gardener. You know, these are ones that I raised up. I lost my male tragically, my main male, but I managed to get a few eggs before I lost him. Michael said he's a tank hopper. Yeah. I put the honey gourami with his mate in this 10-gallon, just the two of them, and I can't tell. I can't tell if there's eggs. I can't tell if there's eggs. I really can't. But he's making a little bubble nest all over the place. He's acting very territorial. My experience with sparkling gouramis, it was really hard to tell where the eggs are. He's kind of making bubbles all over the place, and I really can't see. But I'm hoping we'll have some honey gourami. If you guys are picking up, I'm gonna lose FAP this year because the last meeting was canceled. But if me and Aaron compete with any fire next year, he has literally no chance. If we keep this pace up, just gonna say. I got some Congo Tetra Fry in here. That's what these should be. I'm starting to get some Congo Tetra Fry hatching out. I just haven't set up. I'm not collecting the eggs fast enough, so I think in the container they fall in, they kind of like start fungusing fast because the water quality in there isn't that good because it's like stagnant. These are the Northo Corythos, which is nice because I lost my original pair. Um, Maybe you can see from the top. At this size, the males already start to have some red on them. I'm trying to see if I can show to where you actually be able to see. But the phone camera, it's not really very cooperative. I don't think I want to try these long term. I lost my Australibris Nicoprinus male, and it's partially my fault because he was in a tank that was kind of harder to monitor. I couldn't really tell what was wrong with him. He just kind of started looking a little bit weak. I mean, they do sell. The problem with the annuals is you do kind of get them when they're already older. You know, Mick, you can confirm me on this, but like I don't know how old he was when I got him, but then I had him with a female for a few months. So I mean, if they're already gonna live a year, Australibus Nigrinis. Anyways, if you already get them when they're like a couple months old, and I have them and I'm breeding them a bunch, you know, it could just be that. But because the female looks fine, he just kind of looks very worn out. No turtles. No, I'm not a big turtle fan. I'm not gonna lie. They can be cute, but they take up a lot of space and they smell horrendous. Okay, so this is one of the isopod tanks, and I'm doing something very specific here, and that's the crypt I'm probably gonna take out. But yeah, I know it looks like a mess, but hear me out. So these wafers I've been feeding, well, one, I'm trying to get this tank to turn green on purpose because I'm trying to make this into a Daphnia isopod culture. So I put some Daphnia in here. I'm trying to turn this tank green. But the thing is, with these wafer foods I've been feeding, they're really good at accumulating fritters. No, I want to drink from this water. You goddamn mind. Really good at accumulating critters. So what I've been doing for even the Heraldii, the Autosynclus, for some babies and stuff, is if you look here, I think I do have some kind of like, you know, not quite. What's the worm? What's the worm? The sludge worm in here, but besides the fact that I might have, some of those worms in here, these wafer foods, when there's no fish around, they attract all these detritus worms, right? Like tube effects, that's the word I was looking for. So what this ends up being, and I have no reason to believe why part of this makes sense, but I have reason to believe why one part of it makes sense. So we've been doing all this reading about live foods and how it has like um, unique nutrients, right? So I would assume that the detritus worms and some of these different little critters I probably can't see. There's a lot of paramecium in here. Actually, like you can see the paramecium gather on things sometimes. It's like kind of yellowish. And I assume that all has some of those nutrients that is so important in the live foods, but obviously I'm doing a lot less work because this is just like some detritus worms. On top of that, some of the food stuff that they're using as additives that we've looked at is fermented, right? So maybe this is kind of ridiculous. It doesn't make sense. This is the part I think makes sense. I'm getting detritus worms, tiny seed shrimp. All these white specks are seed shrimp. Okay, tiny seed shrimp, paramecium, and baby isopods when I turkey baster stuff up. But then also, this food is probably like kind of aged and fermented a little bit. That there might be something there. There might be something. I don't know. But besides the fact, the point is basically I've been using this as my fry food essentially, just some free worms and shit and things. Yeah, paramecium's definitely in there, and things just seem to love it. So I'm kind of trying to turn this into a green water, tank with the Daphne and the isopods, of course, but then also I'm just basically got the laziest live food culture ever. Yo, what's up, Nathan? Nathan Owl. Let me try this. Yo, hate. Wait, why are you hating, bro? What's up, man? It says, hey, yo, what's up going on, guys? What's up? But yeah, you guys tell me if that makes sense. But like, I just turkey basted from here and fed a bunch of stuff, and it seemed to go well. So that's what I've been using to feed a lot of things, including all these Parodicinculus weirdos. In here, there's a couple. There's some shell dwellers, and the shells just in the caves weren't good enough for them. They dug all the way to the very bottom of this tank. Uh, I honestly haven't even tried to do a census or anything. I really haven't. Um, a tank full of food cultures, I like it. You said I love the naturalistic look of the tanks, bro. You can tell me my tanks are filthy, man. It's okay. It's okay. Where's your babies at? You got them all the way over there since we were just here. You already moved them? Oh, she about to. Yo, no, Corey, get out of there. Get out of there, man. Come on. I really like this plant. So I'm gonna do CO2 in 2026, and this might be the only plant I try to do. Isopod agenda is goaded, of course, man. What's up? Isopod agenda represent. You're gonna see isopods all over the place here, as you should. This is one of the Northos. Yeah, Mick. I think on the annual, I'm gonna chalk it up to age because I do think that they were a bit older, and I think I should have separated him from the female and not left him in there for like 3 months straight. I think probably was a mistake. Okay, so this tank is why I could like suffer from DMs. Um, the the eyebrow slit is tough. Yo, listen, I I've never I hate selling Scarlet Baddis. Okay, I hate selling Scarlet Baddis. I tried it for a month and then I gave up. You know why? People that want to buy Scarlet Baddis are so fucking high maintenance. Okay, like just trying to sell. You try and sell the attempted pairs because I got tons of Scarlet Baddis all in this tank, breeding and doing whatever. So I got female Scarlet Baddis. Obviously, it's time consuming to sex them, and then you may even still fuck it up. But the problem is, if you ever advertise that you've even smelled a female scarlet baddis for the rest of your life, you will get DMs constantly from every single corner, or every dark corner, every basement. I mean, no offense, but like, bro, some of these people are outrageous. Okay, like outrageous. So I'm just like, I don't even want to advertise the fact that I breed Scarlet Baddis and that in theory I have some females because I don't want to deal with DMs for the rest of my life. Um, I feel like female Scarlet Baddis should be like relatively common right now. They're extremely easy to breed, in my opinion. So if you're looking for female Scarlet Baddis, don't worry. I think they'll be pretty commonplace. Like this is probably one right here. One thing I've been noticing as my colony's gotten a lot bigger is these are rice fish. I don't think I've shown guppies yet. But as my colony's gotten bigger, I would say there's easily 50 plus scarlet bass in this tank, and they've been breeding in here with some cribs, some rice fish, some native Achilles. But you see how he's like swimming around with like three other dull colored scarlet baddis. So I don't know if this is like a thing, but like I feel like maybe they form like little harems. Cause like you saw, I'm not the only one that just saw that, right? So this tank's been on the ground, so I haven't been able to watch it. But now that I've moved it up here, like I'm not crazy. Like those group of fish were clearly swimming together, right? So I've been seeing like these micro groups of like three, and it's usually like one obvious male and then three things that look like they're females. The thing that is nice about the scarlet bass, though, the longer I sit here, the more I see. So they do seem like they're really smart, man. Like they'll come up and recognize you, and if it's kept a species, no, I do get lots of fry. That's the thing. It doesn't matter what I keep these guys with, and you can see this crib's got a little bit of what we're talking about. She's getting a little bit older, but they just kind of start getting patches and stuff. So I put her in here. She's in here by herself, and I've just been trying to keep an eye on her and keep the water good. But no, the Scarlet Baddis, like they've had tons of fry in here. I've kept them with Galaris, and they had tons of fry. Um, so like if I wanted to breed a bunch of them, which I do, and I kind of feel like I'm approaching the point where I could say I have, I would literally throw them in a tank like this. That's just full of moss and algae and some kind of wisteria-like plant. And the longer we sit here, the more scarlet baddis start to come out in the cracks. And that is something that I do enjoy about them. Like they're very inquisitive. They're polygamous father guards. So yeah. So I do think that they kind of hang. So this seems to be like the main dominant male that we just saw walk off with like the three seemingly females. So like that seems like that's probably a female right there. The females can have a little bit of like dark shine. Some that's looking like a female though. But you can see there's this subdominant male that's kind of swimming around. This is water wisteria, if that's the weird plant you're asking about. Even if I want a lot, yeah, I think. Well, honestly, the Scarlet Baddis costs way more wholesale on some lists I've seen recently than I thought that they did. So it wouldn't be a bad one if I was focusing on that. But I think this will become a mainly Scarlet Baddis only tank. The only thing in here I would really worry about eating any fry would actually pretty much nothing. Maybe the killifish. I'll be honest. The Scarlet Baddis fry. The first time I bred them, it was in a tank I could wash them. They're so small when they're born. None of the fish that we see here could catch them. Like they wouldn't even see them. Like seriously, they're so small. This back area is all rocks. Like we can't see it, but under the moss is all rocks. There's nothing here small enough that can get in there and get them. So honestly, I'm gonna say I'm not even worried. Any fry in here, I wouldn't even worry about them getting eaten. I'm gonna be honest. When I first put this tank up, I was surprised at how many isopods there were in here. So I don't know what the predators are up to. Scarlet Baddis are definitely on my list of things I would keep with isopods because I've over and over and over again. But you can't see when rice fish eat the eggs. I don't think the rice fish. Well, if they lay the eggs in the rocks and stuff, they're not getting to them. And also, like you said, the male protects the eggs. I don't think the rice fish are getting to the eggs. Personally, I do not add calcium to my tanks. No, I did not. Typically. All right, enough of this ugly ass tank. Um, let's go to another ugly ass tank. I'm just using you guys as a way to talk to the state of my fish room at this point. All right, I just kind of this tank was 100% full with algae, so it's a little bit more bare than usual. But it was like 1,000% full of algae. I just like demolished this tank, but kind of just holding a few things in here. About to redistribute. Try and see net rice fish and cribs out. No, then I'd have to actually put them somewhere else. This is a good setup for me. I need the space. I don't need any more scarlet baddis. I got the bluefin colony in here, and I got some pygmy hatchet fish that I'm about to move to a different tank. The bluefins, they've surprised me. Like, you just want me to have 100 of every single fish. Okay, but I don't I gotta prioritize. Okay, I gotta prioritize. 50 scarlet baddis, that's enough for me. I couldn't even handle more than that right now. The thing about the bluefins, they are really cool looking to me. Um, they can be a little bit sneaky. Just that. Ooh, what you bringing tomorrow, Steve? You got the Hong Soy. Uh, the bluefins have been really prolific though. I definitely got a bunch of them in here. They're sneaky, so it's kind of hard to be like, yeah, look at all my bluefins, because like they're really like, I won't say necessarily hidey. They're not. They don't have a lot of trust. They don't got a lot of trust. At least not yet. A lot of them are still a little bit smaller, but I would say I have 30. I have 30. I want you to earn a lot of cash at the auctions plus keep fun fish. Well, I'm gonna keep fun fish. We'll see about the auction situation. I gotta earn money other places, Mick. I gotta make some videos or something. Because like I said, I want to keep making sure the breeding's my hobby and it's what I'm doing for fun. I just feel like the moment that I'm trying to make money off of it as the main focus, because obviously I'm gonna try and make some money off of it, but I just want to keep my focus. Uh, Speaking of disaster, this tank's a disaster. I don't even want to talk about it. It's not that bad, but I don't want to talk about it. Speaking of swords that are getting too big, okay. I do not have CO2 in any tanks yet. Do not. This is the F2s for the track and fell size. So the kids of my F1's kids are in here, and they had a pretty good batch, and they're starting to get decently sized. Couple colored up females in there. And then the Congos, I'm getting ready to move to their tank, but they're looking nice. I mean, look at that. That fin fan was. Thank you for that. Thank you for that. So these guys have been doing good. I haven't had any issues with them. The cribs have been. Look, if you want a Congo puffer pair, do them with the cribs. The cribs and the Congos and this 40 breeder have been great for me. I mean, the Congos maintain their space. Everyone seems to get on fine. So here's a Drakenfelsai female that's not quite coming to her color all the way yet. And there's the male. This is a fish I do want to line breed if I can get enough of that. Hold on to enough F2s, and then the ones I hold on to don't fall apart on me. But I've been trying to improve the diet stuff, less protein, things like that. See if that helps. It's another underdeveloped female you see. There was some in here that had some color, but anyways, I got the 4 buffers still. I get it. Some easy breeding fish like can be your bread and butter, always producing. Whatever. See, Mick, I can tell you're a real industry professional, so I appreciate you looking out. I think you're right. The Dario could be, and I think you're right. I should net everything out and just have them in there. I'll give it some consideration. No fin parasites? I don't think so. When I first got them, I did. Well, obviously, wherever I got them from treated them to some degree, but I did do some Prazi Pro and Levamisole spaced apart in this tank. This is a Congo puffer. Congo spotted puffer. Was it? It's like a Shodenti. It's like a T. I don't know. I can see it in my head, but I can't pronounce it. Anyways, as far as I can tell, they've stayed pretty, I don't know, healthy, friendly. They say hi, obviously. They're here, hoping I'm going to give them some food. The dwarf pikes have still been doing all right. They actually are starting to look like pikes, and it depresses me every time because I just miss their dad so much. And it's just, anyways, uh, just can't change the past. But anyways, still got a good amount of pikes here. They're all, chilling, hanging out. They all know who I am. Clearly hoping that I'm gonna have some food. With some other fish like the cribs and stuff, again, like I want to line breed some fish that maybe aren't line bred as much. I'm curious to see how much color variation comes out with these guys, just because I think it's one of those fish that I kind of feel like there'll be a little bit of small little variations, eye spots in the dorsal, stuff like that. Because for the Publicochromis, the dragonfell's eye, the males, some of them have a lot of green, um, a lot of green in the caudal and even on the body to some degree. And then there is some eye spot differences in the caudal with the males. And the dragonfly side, the males are they're kind of plain looking compared to some of the other cribs. I mean, uh, even if I go to my bastardized tank down here, let me see if I can find a nice looking male. This is basically like a crib Thunderdome tank, but it's my red root floater tank. So that's why it kind of looks dark and disgusting because the whole top of it is just red root floaters. So it kind of just gives the tank that aesthetic that it's underground. But you can kind of see what I'm talking about in this guy's caudal fin. So there's a little bit of green, and then if you look at the anal fin, there's like a little bit of purple there, and that green sheen, and that's not in all of them. A lot of crib males are pouring colors, yeah, but I see some potential to kind of work on that a bit. So if we compare him to this guy, like this guy's got a lot of purple in that purplish tones on the dorsal, and I appreciate you Mick confirming that the puffers look good. I mean, yeah, calm, curious, and calm is a great way to sum it up. So if we look at those cribs, Dad, let's see if we can see what I'm talking about. He might be okay. He's in the wind. He's all back in the cave. But if I see him again, we'll see if I can compare. Um, check out this guy. Temperate. If you see this, your funds were well allocated, buddy. This is Fundalepantrex suggesti funge. So everyone knows I was looking for the low. Chris is actually supposed to send me a pair of low, Christopher Junkin, but he's been moving. But in lieu of the low, Big Steve, who I still owe quite a bit of thanks, got me this pair of funge, which after doing some research, seems like funge is either the same as low or collected very close, which explains why they look so similar. But they're, he's looking good. with killifish are one that, they're a fish that can fall apart on you. Um, they're another one I'm wary of feeding white worms too much. I think once I get the blackworm culture going, I think blackworms, for whatever reason, are better. Steve said my mail is looking fantastic. Is that your way of telling me my mail looks like shit, Steve? Killifish, though, like I feel like they're a fish. It's really easy to tell when they're in bad condition. Like when a killifish is doing poorly, you can tell. You know what I mean? And the male to me is looking great, and the female to me, this is the female here, and she's also looking pretty great to me. So I'm happy. I'm collecting eggs. Like I'm not seeing white patches on them or anything like that. And he's growing. Michael said that looks expensive. Yeah, the Galars can be expensive. They can be. Um, I think on this one the auction did not go as high as it should have, but I'm not complaining. Vic said named after a Swedish guy was his. So how do I actually pronounce that then? Because so many people avoid saying that out loud. They just say the Galaris. So you got to type out how I say it. But yeah, so if you look at the sand, it kind of tells the whole story. I collect their eggs from the sand. All right. Need more hiding spots? So right now this tank, it's kind of a temporary setup, but this is kind of one of those situations where there's not. I'm not saying there is hiding spots in here. You know what I mean? Like the female can get away from the male. It's also a bigger tank, so that's part of it. But like for instance, this is a school of Congo tetras. So they're with a big group of them, and they're kind of chilling, and it's literally just them and these two fish. So there's pretty low stress environment, honestly. They're called Galaris, but the true Galaris is another fish. Easier for you to say blue Galaris. Yeah. We'll spell out phonetically how I say the other thing. Okay. So I've been talking about I this is kind of demolished a bit, but I've been using the breeder boxes as like air powered hang on backs and hatching stuff in them. So yeah, I got stuff hatching out, and of course I got isopods all over the place in here. But I got some diamond tetra fry that I need to get out of here before these procatopus hatch. There's a couple diamond tetra fry in there. Excuse me. And the ribless fry. Now, this is the one that I've really been using like a air powered hang on back filter. How did I know you're gonna ask, Aquatics? So this is one that I've truly converted all the way. Um, like I filled it with media, and you can see it collects quite a lot of moam. I have added black worms here, so I don't know if I'm breaking patent law or something, but yeah, it works pretty well as a polisher. It works. Obviously, this is basically a hang-on back filter. I don't really know what else to say. Like there is a noticeable difference with the water clarity when I'm running it versus when I'm not running it. Now my glass is so dirty, and this thing is covered in floating plants, so the lighting's not that good. Now I don't have filter floss, but I mean I could. So what I really do, and what this was set up before, but then I had to get the. This is my ideal setup. Okay, like I don't think, for my purposes, I really need to go full filter with it. But these things come with separators already, right? So like if you had like a parent guppy that was pregnant, then the fry could get out. But they come with separators. I don't actually have it plugged in the way that they're supposed to be, but you can get the concept. But they already had the separators that would go there. And basically, you could just set up this middle one, and that's what I do. I set up this middle one with a cutout of sponge, and then I would fill this up with the media, and then this side I would hatch stuff in, which you can see like there's the Tetra fry there. So yeah, that's like kind of what I would do. And this is one of the bigger breeder boxes, so this is basically the size of a small hang on back, that alone, and then you got a nice breeding space there. But I do like having space for the fish to swim around, so I think ideally maybe only this section would be filter section. But yeah, I'm probably gonna do this more because I mean it works for hatching. I saw Becca in her room; she used them a lot for fry. It's a great place to store fry, and then you can also have it filter stuff. The trays on top, I hate the trays on top of the tanks. I just do. Now the Higer tank has a tray built in, and as a test, I decided with the orange laser quarries, those are the ones I'm going to test to see if their eggs hatch just in this random thing versus the air, and all the eggs in here also hatched. So this is almost like having one of those trays on top of the tank. You know what I mean? The hang-on boxes, I don't necessarily like that much either because if this was a cramper room, I would knock them off all the time. Um, so I don't really know. The O is pronounced ah, fish when you're stretching the area, therefore typed out OE, and so Jastidai, like you say Motorhead, the rock band. Okay, Mick, you're right. It's never gonna work. I'm never gonna be able to say this. I already give up. I already give up. Uh, goodness, man. I still got a lot of work to do, man. I still got a lot of work to do in this room. But I would say on average, the tanks are looking better. So I guess I can be thankful for that. But there's still a lot of work to do. This is a brine shrimp. This is a brine shrimp hatchery slash colony thing. So don't come at me. It's not that one's not for fish. All right, that one's not for fish. Oh my god. Oh my goodness. I will say, since I've improved the light in here, my Iguazu sword has actually grown some new leaves. So this one might be done in like 3 years coming out. We'll find out. Still got a lot of the super reds. Although I guess, some of them, I didn't really think about it, but I was like, some of these probably I need to grade. Like, it's not like the super reds are throwing out 100. Like, some of them got a little black spots. I don't know how much that really matters. As this guy's like, this one's grown older, it's gotten more. And you see this guy, he basically has none. But I don't know if that's something that just changed from over time. The loaches are still going good. Still got the Procatopus. The glass is covered in algae. Yeah. You already know. I don't know if I've even talked about one interesting thing yet, man. Straight yapping. Burn is closer described and pronounced. Yeah, dude. What the hell? I don't even know what I'm looking at. Beto says, "Yo, the killie looks fire." Appreciate it. What do you think about my little cold shrimp here? What do you think about this guy? I call him my radioactive shrimp because he's like green with like a yellow stripe on his back. Look at that guy. Weird looking motherfucker. Yeah, I see you, little girl, I guess. Fauna! Fauna! Yeah. Yeah, she's a fauna. And she loves it. Real ones know. Every time I see a weird looking shrimp, I hear that song. Rest in peace, Pop Smoke. Oh my gosh, man. Oh my gosh. This is Odin. He only gets a name because he has one eye. I bought him from the store with one eye. Um, Luckily for us, showing us the side that he does have an eye. Now, the Nanacara Mala, if you go to the stores and they just got a shipment in, you're gonna see a lot of males with no eye. Is what I've noticed. The females just love to slaughter the males. They really do. I'm hoping that I can get some fry out of these guys. It's not like I've been trying super hard. I've just been keeping them for over a year now, actually. So shout out for me. I haven't killed them. I can't wait to see what Nick got me for Christmas. Wait, you have expectations on what I got you for Christmas? Bro, I haven't bought a single Christmas gift yet. I'm not gonna lie. Don't tell anyone. I haven't bought a single damn thing because I knew the swap was coming up. Now this female's been acting a little differently than some of the other ones. I kind of suspected that she might be harboring Fry, but she's moving around too different. So, but you see, she's kind of got like red going on her, which I have not seen in the other ones. We all get Black Lava Rock, Cole. Honestly, that's not bad. Yeah, he's in here with 4 females. I kind of thought that there'd be some babies at this point. You know, as a dwarf cichlid, the females seem to protect the kids. Now, there's quite a lot of space in these corners where there could be a fish with some babies. So who knows? But you know, that's something that I've kind of been hoping for. Oh man, you want to see an old man? Here's my old man. Old man Elisoma. This is my oldest Elisoma good birth time male. I'm not 1,000% sure, but I'm pretty sure this is the same one from the video I made about them. You know what's funny about these guys? Similarly to like the baddest, like I can tell when they have not eaten recently. Their body looks so much different. They're in here with some Rolafi growing out, which I need to take out. They used to be a lot smaller, so I would like some more Elisoma Gerberti. The Rolafi are at a size for this probably problem. And I have the adult Rolafi in here, and this tank is just too short, really, to have a bunch of different fish in. It's something I'm learning about the low boys. Like, you really can't have a bunch of different certain fish. But the adults are in here. It's very pretty fish. Super orange, blue chin. You guys know. Real ones know. Epiplates Rolafi. Very pretty fish. I have a black lava rock fetish, though. Crab are smaller than rainbows, beautiful like congos, friendly to tiger bars, not as stressful as kubotais. True. Now these are the guys that are just burning up tank space, man. There's something about them though. That's a Bonita Chromis. Actually looking pretty yellow in the fins today. Looking very nice. They have nice fins. They love to dig. They love to dig. I barely see most of them because they're just underground. Like this tree used to be kind of underground. Now there's a goddamn cave under there. Holy. Hungry, always hungry. Like North of Branker, short life, need to max everything. Yeah, I honestly, I think that's what it was. I really do. I got these guppies from Ross, and they're starting to grow and be really nice. But I think this rainbow is like someone just like bit off this guy's entire dorsal tail. So I'm pretty sure it's the rainbow, because unless it was another guppy male. Um, I have some half beaks sitting in there, but they're not even really physically capable of biting the tail of the guppies like that. And just watching, I see this male rainbow kind of messing around, but these are really one of the few guppies I really like the look of. So I'm like, can you not tear up their fins? So I got to move those rainbows out. Oh, check it out. It's my top 3 favorite killifish. After Simeon Gaba wins. Um, the half beaks are in here temporarily because this big female was releasing Fry. So I took all the males out because they were just harassing the hell out of her. So she's in here by herself. She's in here by herself to release Fry and also just have some peace. But I think it was the rainbows that were the issue. But yeah, I love these guys so much. So I got my original pair, and then I put the few Fry that I got in here. That's one of them. Now kind of not so Fry. Got like my Panda Cory horde has really been growing steadily. I think I got over 20 in there now. I think I had Ooh, look at those. Yeah, come on. I want to see some egg laying. Come on, let's go. Yeah, I don't know what happened. Like something happened where I just suddenly I'm having some blue green algae issues in a bunch of random tanks. I've never had. I've had plenty of hair algae, but awesome in colors and not a big fish. Yeah, I always say the Gabawins are like one of the best. I always recommend them. Like people ask like killifish to keep with shrimp. I've always had good luck with the Gabawins and shrimp. Uh, well, the light's off. This is where I have a bunch of my Ellisoma Cuperti in here, but unsurprisingly, I'm not seeing them. In a tank like this, where there's all this moss, you're not going to see them as much because there's such a mix of sizes. If I took all the biggest Ellisoma out of here, then you see them much more because it'd be a bit more comfortable. Some of them have gotten quite big. Like they'll get big and you not even notice. And you'd be like, I didn't realize. I thought this was all fry. And then you'll find an adult. So like, I didn't even know I had an Ellisoma this big in here. Like that's just a straight up adult Ellisoma female. And besides the lack of color, I can tell it's a female because I think I saw the blue under the eye. Eh, try to get it to show up on the phone. Yeah, it kind of caught there. But yeah, that's a big ass. Yeah, there you go. So the females they got that blue line under the eye that showed there for a second. Great killie for one old time nerds first timer. Ooh, you want to kill? You're like this killifish. If you like the Gabawins, I still like the Gabawins more, but I'm about to make space for this one. Yeah, I got a decent amount of good bird tie, but we're not quite at wholesale numbers. But I'm planning on dedicating a few tanks to them. Come on, little fella. Come on. Yeah, the Gabawins are great. Great start, Killy. Come on, Mick. I know you know what these are. If they would show themselves, it'd be a lot easier. I feel like there's some crossover appeal between what they look like and the Gabawins. I think it's pretty different, but 12 to 15 for the Everglade Eye. Some people here sell the Everglade Eye for $40 a piece each still, and it just blows my mind. Blows my mind. I can't get these damn fish to come out. Oh, maybe I can get them from the side. There you go. I have the worst flashlight right now. Like, a camera's just like hate on me. This is why they can never find Bigfoot, bro. I'll never hate on the Bigfoot footage again. Look at this. This camera couldn't focus on a human face to save its life. What's going on here, buddy? You hating on my fish? You hating on my fish? We're just gonna sit here until they can see. It could be a while. It really could. But there we go. He's getting investigative. Let's go. Come say hi, little buddy. Come say hi. There we go. All right, Nick. I like your service. What do you mean, Nick? What are you trying to say? What are you trying to say? Well, this is a Aphysemium striatum lamborine. That's right. Got a location, man. I traded with the old Killy nerd around here. Good old Bob, very nice guy. And he gave me 2 pairs of a very nice killifish that apparently I'm incapable of showing on the screen at the moment. Oop. All right, I'm gonna shine the light on him, and he's gonna run, but we'll see some of the color. There we go. Yeah. Waiting for the fish to show up just for me. Of course, man. Of course. Ooh, close that. Whoopsie. No one saw that. All right. So this tank is opportunity. Okay, I've just got finished tearing it apart because I've been tearing a lot of tanks apart. This is another of the few guppies that I like. Panda guppies, or the blue panda guppies. Um, like these guys. I had a bunch. I took it for granted. I got them all eaten. I have a couple, but they haven't been in a tank where the fry are really gonna make it. So I think they're a really nice looking fish. I feel like these guys got a decent amount of blue on the body to them, so I'm kind of into it. Now I gotta figure out where I want to put them. What the hell is that? Well, that guppy don't look. That's not how the panda guppy's supposed to look. That looks like some kind of hybrid situation. And maybe he's just growing. The blue panda guppies grow into their colors really weird. Like the males will just kind of be pale for a while, then they'll get like the fancy colors and stuff. I've noticed that. Nick, are you realizing you're doing a fish room tour? I'm not doing a fish room tour. I'm hanging out in my fish room. So this is what I mean. Like you can tell when a killifish. Well, this killifish is just old. So I got some P82s in here, and that female is like she's old. I think she's already old when I got her. She's got like a crooked back. Um, you know, all the things you see in the old killifish. Then the other two are younger females, but this is like my old lady. And then that male, he's not too old, but he's pretty well grown out. You want to come over here, man? Like it's kind of hard to see all the way back there. Just move the light. I'll move the light over you since you don't want to cooperate. But I got my males looking all right. But I haven't really been focusing on them too much, too much. And yeah, man, you don't want to show off today. But this is just a 10-gallon with 4 P82s, and then I have some Fungulus, a pair of Fungulus in here. I have another pair of 3 Mile Creek, but for some reason I felt like such a not perfectionist, but like I got them from 2 different people, and I was like, I know they're the same location, but like I'm gonna keep them separate. So this guy don't want to sit where I can actually see him, but I honestly think he's a pretty decent looking P82 male. When I don't have to zoom in, it's all looking crazy. He's getting some nice extensions on his caudal. Good size, not crooked. Yep, I changed. This tank I've been up. I actually changed the water on this tank today. They're still spawning and laying eggs. I just haven't really been picking them. But I do like how this guy is starting to look. Oh, there we go. This is a little bit better view. A little bit chunky looking for me, but that's P8. That's the garden rat for you. Big old fundable pancakes, right? Honestly, I've been working on this tank not too much. I mean, it's a pretty, they're just kind of chilling out here. I don't really know what to say. Um, I don't know. I'm probably gonna get rid of rehome my P82s just because I would like to have this whole 10-gallon to do something else with. And I just feel like none of the tanks I have right now, they'd fit in super well community wise. Like they're just the gardener I get a little bit big. Now the gardener are one you could breed passively relatively easily with the tank set up the right way, which is how I bred a bunch of the gold gardener the first time. But yeah, I think I'd want to use this tank for some other things, maybe even just growing stuff out. So probably this fungulus pear I would move because I have one already, and they're huge. Now this tank is one of my just straight up just freaking moss tanks. Where half the 10 gallons is full of moss. And all I got in here is stuff that we'll never ever see right now. That's the least killifish. What's up, Sutton Aquatics? You got 7 species of killies. Very nice. Peat moss method. I think the good thing about peat moss is if you're the type of person that can fit that into your workflow, then it's very consistent, and you can kind of just get it going. Did you see the Galaris I showed earlier, Sutton? Yeah, I wish I had Frank Cowherd's line of dwarf Galaris still. I can't believe I fumbled those. But this is one of my wild betta tanks. But they kind of prefer to just be in the moss. Some of the males are holding eggs too, so that's definitely a factor. And also, the light should be off. Funge. It's the funge location of Galaris. They're basically like the low. Mr. Big Steve. Don't worry about it, man. Work. If you're at work, work. I need to start collecting eggs for my funnel panchaks on Aldi. Ooh, that's a nice fish, man. They got some crazy looking little fins. But I just like the blue and red. I'm a sucker for blue and red, so that's why I like that location so much. Oh man, oh man. But I think the Gabawins, the Striatum. No, the Achilles I want to make the most of are the Gabawins, and the Aphysimian Hera. And the Hera, this 20 gallon up here is just totally dedicated to the Hera. So I had a pair in there spawning, and I got a bunch of fry popping up on there. And then this tank down here has a decent amount of Hera. And yeah, you can see the females on them they got such, look at that. Look at that yellow belly, man. See, I'm selling this fish right now. That's what attracted me to them, because the females are so different. Because they got so much yellow. I mean, this is like on the worst camera ever, and you can see clearly. And then the males look super dope too, but I don't see any. Oh, I seem to be pretty female heavy, but then over time I ended up having more males than I thought. I haven't. Albino Austral sounds pretty dope. I don't think I've seen one in person before. You're definitely interested in the blue fins. I like them, like the Lucania. Good day, or however you say it. Blue fins are cool. I like them, and they breed easily on their own, which makes me like them even more. So this is where I got my blue fins at. If that's the what you're talking about. You can see them all lurking in the shadows. Trying to find a male. Oh, there's a male. He just popped out. Ah, what the? There you go. You can see a little bit of the blue fin. He's still got a little growing to do. There's my big old male. Like I said before, they're a little sneaky. They're sneaky. Ah, the Ziphidus. Yep, that's one of the ones I fumbled that hurt the most. I was so prepared for the male in the jumping situation, and I still let the male jump. Left the lid open when I walked away. I was feeding him, walked away. Left the lid open. Okay. You motherfuckers got me streaming for no reason tonight, huh? I didn't even see Ani K in the chat. It's crazy. Well, the platypus did show up, so I got to give him that. I got to give him that. But you wanted to keep the multi-day streak going. We don't even do streaks, man. What's the point? So I mean, look, all in all, I don't know. I feel like I said, 2026. I just want to focus on making sure my husbandry is on point. All that. I want all my tanks to look nicer on average, but I also just want to make sure I'm taking better care of the fish. Not that I feel like I'm neglecting any fish, but we've been doing a lot of reading on diets and stuff, and there's always room for improvement. So I think that yeah, right now going into the new year, there's some things I feel pretty good about. I feel like right now I have a lot of fish that are really cool that I really like. I think I'm doing a good job managing most of them. And as the year's closing out, I think I'm doing a better job at starting to figure out which ones I want to commit space to, how much space I need for different things. Like, okay, if I do breed this fish, and one thing that I have been good at is I don't get a fish just to breed it. I try and breed it necessarily immediately. Like I do take time. I do like just getting fish and keeping them for a while and watching them. So now there's a lot of fish that I've just been watching, and now I'm starting to breed them, right? So I'm feeling excited about that going into the new year because it does kind of feel like, okay, I have a decent amount of fry right now, and compared to earlier in the year, I have more of each thing. Like the blue fins, I got a decent amount of blue fins. I got a decent amount of batis. I just hatched a bunch of orange lasers. I got a decent amount of procatopus cooking up. I got some Apistos. At the beginning of this year, I had never bred any Apistos. Now I've got one, two, three, maybe four different Apistos with fry right now. I'm still working on the cribs. The cribs have been a real long-term, it's turned into a real long-term project. That's one of the fish that I've had the longest, almost the entire time I've been keeping fish, which isn't very long, but still, I've stayed committed to that. I've got a bunch of killies, and I haven't necessarily made a bunch of all of them, but I've managed to just maintain the ones I have and keep making enough that I always have some. Now I'm starting to, okay, I got a decent amount of these Hera. I got a decent amount of, um, yeah, I'm going to make all these Galaris. So basically, I'm having fun. I think I'm getting a little bit better. I think the tanks are starting to, on average, look nicer. Like, from my point of view right now, many of the tanks I can see, I personally find pretty visually appealing. Now, the reflection situation of theirs is, it's kind of an issue, but I sit here often. That tank's nice. I need to clean the glass, but that tank down there to me is nice. Even that tank to me is like, it's simple, but I like it. That's nice. I love that tank. This tank, it's kind of like a breeding setup. It's nice to me. It's like, and I turn over here and I'm starting to work on my 5 gallons being something I'm proud of again. And this one's is in a place that's going to be nice. And, this one's a little wild, but, I like looking at it. This one I need to do some maintenance on. But, like, I like sitting here and I'm making progress on these tanks. I would say all the 10 gallons are stuff that need the most progress. But then even looking here, like I'm working on cleaning out stuff, and that's why the trash can's here because I've been throwing out a bunch. But like, okay, that 10 gallon I can watch from here. I like that one's nice. That one I need to trim. That one is newer, so I'm working on it. And then those 20 longs I need to work on. But you see what I mean? Like on average, compared to earlier in the year, I'm pretty happy with what I see when I look around, and so I'm happy about that. But there is always room for improvement. Um, I just want to keep learning, and yeah, as far as fish keeping goes, in short, I feel like we're making some progress. We're improving, and we're almost to a place where I can say like I'm actually breeding some fish, and not just like a fish here and a fish there. It's easier to breed and grow fish if having 3 tanks per species, much easier. Yeah, 3 to 5. Yeah, for sure. And there's some species that's what I'm gonna do, like the Elasoma and some of the killifish. But it's all just been kind of a learning process, right? So I'm learning all those lessons. Nick said, "I like what you do, Nick. Much fun in your streams." I appreciate that, Nick. I do. I like what you do. I like what you do. It's very nice to have you in the chat. So next year, I'd like to make more videos. Some nice footage of some fish and the fish that I feel like I kept long enough, bred enough times, and know enough about to make a useful video on. So like the Scarlet Baddest, I probably could make a video about breeding them. But I think my approach for the breeding videos, I think are gonna be less like it's not gonna be, oh, here's the temperature, here's the pH, and it's just gonna be about behavior. Because I just think if you want someone that's gonna list like the temperature and pH and give you exactly if you want a step by step, just go somewhere else. I like watching the fish, and that's what I have to share. So with the Scarlet Baddest, what I have to share is, look, here's the Scarlet Baddest. I bred them in this. Let me tell you about the setup and the experience. Here's how I would go about breeding them myself. Add that data point to the pool. As far as like a tutorial, like how to breed, not so much. Not so much, because we're not doing the breeding anyway. So maybe like breeding Scarlet Baddest, and I'm just gonna talk about basically throwing them in the tank and the fry showing up everywhere. I think some nice photos of males versus females is always with those things. Like when I'm looking up how to breed a fish, you probably watch like 10 videos on the same fish, and maybe each video has some like one thing, one unique piece of information. If you watch all the videos, you know what I mean? So my video will just kind of be another data point to add to that. Pea puffers. Okay, that's what he's doing. Ugh, goodness. Yo, you show yourself one day, Nick? All right, I believe when I see it. I believe when I see it. No, I won't. I don't think I'll ever do a real fish room tour video. I don't really have interest in doing a fish room tour video, but I stream so much. If you want to see my fish room, I stream all the time, so you can piece it together. You can see my shame. It's live. You can see my shame. You can pause it every second. Oh, look at this dirty, dusty algae tank. Look, that's what it looks like, man. Here, I don't even clean the glass that much when I'm filming videos. You want raw and authentic? Well, guess what? I'm lazy as fuck, so I guess that's raw and authentic, just by a byproduct of me being lazy. I don't feel comfortable showing myself at 1 to 6 a.m. Oh, good point, Nick. It is 1 a.m. So listen, if you're in the Baltimore, Maryland area, if you're in PA, if you're in DC, Virginia, West Virginia, Delaware, however far away you feel like coming from, tomorrow at 1 p.m., the Aquarius Society of Central Maryland is having a swap. We have some great vendors, just one more fish, elite menagerie, habitats,
Chasten's Isopods, Subaru Aquatics, Snyder's Aquatics, Zebra Aquatics, Guy Andrew coming through, Carol's Bettas. Um, Yo, if I just forgot someone, that's gonna be so crazy. Who could I be forgetting? I said Jesse. I said Louise. Yeah, Snyder's Aquatics, Zebra Aquatics. How many is that? Four? Okay, Carol's Bettas. Yep. Chasten's Isopods. Yep. And Subaru. I think that's all of them. Lazy, you should have some overflow system, at least for some tanks you know the fish ain't ill. I agree. I need some auto water changes. At least systems, yeah, where I can like turn the lever and it drains, and then I can press the button and it fills. Um, I do think there is something to having to do something manual in the water change where you have to watch it. I do like watching the tanks and the water changing because that's when I notice if something's wrong if I'm not watching otherwise. But I think next year some automated water change systems would be nice. Or again, like I said, just a lever drain and then hit a button and it fills. I'll tell you one fish I want to make a lot of. I really need to make a lot of panda cories next year because I got a nice group of them and they're spawning all the time. So that's just something I need to focus on. Feels on stage, Adam, common house or apartment. Yep. Yeah. It is telling me it's time to get off the stream. She wants to sit down on me. She wants me to stop moving. Don't you, Ada? All right. Wish me luck. Wish us all luck on the swap tomorrow. I hope it goes well. I hope all the vendors do well. I hope everyone has a good time. I think they will. Ada, why you make this face? I'm just a little bit. Well, I'm just nervous as people are driving. They're bagging fish all day today to come tomorrow. It's kind of crazy. It's like a lot of people's time's invested. So I feel responsible. So hopefully everything goes smoothly. I'm gonna get there like 11:30. The venue has been a pain in the ass. We haven't sent out the updated table diagrams because they keep changing around things. But I'm sure I'll be fine. And we're gonna all hang out. A lot of my favorite fish friends, my favorite fish people, my favorite people are gonna be there. So I'm just once I'm there, it'll be fun, and I won't be as stressed about it. But you know, it's just responsibility. Hmm. Ain't that right, Ada? I wish you all the luck. Hope it's fun. Merry Xmas to all. Indeed, indeed. All right. Ada the cat says good night. Bro, why are you making this face, Ada? You look so like you look so bitchy right now. Because usually we're in bed and then she comes and lays. Start laying on like my chest area. She always starts there. Then eventually she's laying down on my legs. And then it's the fight of how do I maintain circulation throughout the night without disturbing the cat. And hug your family is important. I hear you, Vic. I hear you. All right. Audie K, Platypus, you're responsible for this. Um, I hope she's so calm, a true friend. Yeah. She my little buddy. She my little buddy. Yes. Ada is pretty much my bestie. I'm sorry, Ada. Did I mess up your flow? You get something in your eye? You get something. There you go. There you go. Yes, 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 you good cat. This is now a cat petting stream. Pause. Jessica says that Jessica thinks that it looks like an old man when she makes this face when I'm petting her. Yes, you look so silly, Ada. Yeah. You look silly. Yeah, you look silly. Goodness. All right. Enough of that. Appreciate you guys. I'll see you around, and I hope you got something out of this stream, got something done, enjoyed the time. Take it easy, and I'll see you when I see you. It's in my tanks and Ada the cat. Out.